I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
I I don't know what happened last time. I think it might have been like TikTok's update or something.
Okay. Well, good that that's
We got that
taken
settled.
care of. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pain in the butt. Yeah, that's cool. I can upload this on YouTube as well.
All right.
What's up,
Well,
brother?
good week. Good week. Kind of good week this week.
I'll say.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's everything everywhere all at once, right?
Yep. I'm feeling pretty good about your beard bet.
Me too.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm feeling really good about my beard bet. Where are we at right now? 76,000. I think
Yeah.
I can switch to my charts one. I should have one. Maybe this one. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Sweet. Um yeah, it's I had a Patreon video cuz I do those weekly, and those are just for the members and
Uh-huh.
Patreon subscribers, etc. And I was just looking at the charts, and I kept being like, so this was like maybe 2 days before the election, and uh, I kept being like, oh, either way it happens, I think that Bitcoin's going to go into a bull run, and it's going to do fine, and I believe that too. But then I'm looking at the charts, and I'm like, you know what? I'm calling it. Orange Man's gonna win. The charts look too good right now. It looks like we're about to
Yeah.
break out, and that's what it looks like to me. And to me, all of this um, just boring and sideways
Yeah.
that we were just chilling at for what was that, 8 months? Um, that to me is our next bottom in 2026, or whenever we go into
Yeah.
the bear market. That's where we're going, in my opinion. I don't think
Yeah, I
it's
think a lot of people share that opinion. I was telling somebody on live, like somebody was asking me on my earlier live stream, should I buy Bitcoin now? And what I was telling them was like, well, I want you to know, no matter no matter how high Bitcoin goes, I mean, there's plenty of people who believe that Bitcoin's going over $200,000, whatever. A lot of people are targeting that range, that 8 month range, as the bear market bottom. So you can buy Bitcoin now, make some money, but like it's going to be lower most likely. And I mean, obviously, I mean personally, I think you would agree. Like now, more opportunity for altcoins.
100%.
Yeah.
the,
So
the way that I say it is, if you're buying Bitcoin for 20 years, it's a great investment.
sure.
If you're buying
Yep.
Bitcoin for the next 12 months, I think that there's a lot better plays. And I'm not a Bitcoin maxi,
Yeah.
but Bitcoin is the biggest position in my portfolio.
All right.
So I'm not a maxi, but I am a mostly, and I do think that they all go back to it slowly, surely, exponentially. But I think Bitcoin is more the play in the bear market, because
Yeah.
it comes down the least and it goes up the first, you know.
Yep. Yep.
So that's
So
kind of what I loosely recommend people, is like, now is the time where I think it's okay to be diverse. It's okay to diversify your portfolio, and I'm specifically looking for altcoins that have charts on the, I call it the Wyckoff list. But
the Wachowski list.
Shiba is an example. I'm hearing a little
Okay.
bit of an echo. Is it just me?
From my end or from yours?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm not hearing anything.
It might just be me. But yeah, Shiba. This is the chart that I'm looking for, and that's it. Like, in the rules of Wyckoff, it state, once you get either out of the bear market and you sort of break this parallel trend, or the sign of strength back test and you break the parallel trend, then it's like a firmly safe, um, that there's a very, very, very low likelihood that you're going to make a new low at that point. And so most
Okay.
of the market looks like this, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at Shiba now. I mean, I'm not looking at it at an all-time chart, just the daily chart. I mean, that's one that I've had on my radar for, you know, charting purposes, but also for just thinking about. I think we've talked about this before. Just things getting hot, and your everyday person downloading Robinhood and buying Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Not wanting to buy there's the 10 options. Dogecoin, SHIB are probably going to be the most appealing of those 10 options. So,
Right. Yeah. So have
anything
you
else look good? I'm just looking.
well, there's a lot of coins that look like this. This is
Yeah.
just what I'm saying is like a model. A model to look at. But I have a whole list of coins that are on here. You know, I know you don't like Link, but it has the same setup. And I'm looking at it on the market cap. If I ever get the option to chart something based on the market cap, that's what I will do. VChain has the same setup. HNT, Rose,
Yeah.
AVAX, LCX, Shiba, ADA, Doge. They all look the same. Doge looks like. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, what were you going to say about Doge? I'm definitely curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, Doge, it's. I mean, in the past, it's kind of been a first mover, and it based off of this, it looks like it might continue that trend. Because if once it breaks out of this 33 billion, that would start the next phase.
All right. Shoot, I forgot what I was going to say. Maybe I should have just gone first. So I'm just trying to.
So has your opinions? Where are your opinions on the total market? Are you? I know where you had your opinions, and you're going to let the market lead you. Where are you feeling at things right now?
Yeah. So somebody asked me, 80K. I keep throwing that number out, and I know that's much lower than a lot of people are saying. And I'm just of a mindset like I'm going to believe that that's the peak until we go beyond it. And when we go beyond it, I mean, there's definitely compelling arguments to make that we would go beyond $80,000 from a technical standpoint, from a standpoint of, I know for you it's purely technical, but I mean, just factoring in accumulation levels. I mean, BlackRock bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday. The idea that it would stop, that train would come to a halt at 80,000. Sure, but I'm still cautious. I mean, well, no, right now I'm optimistic. I am just flat out optimistic. Not really interested in buying Bitcoin, especially if $80,000 were to be the peak. But then the altcoins, there's so much room to go higher that there's so much money to be made regardless. And at some point, my optimism is just going to change to cautious optimism, and then we'll see from there. I did start my exits of my Bitcoin miners today. So that's my first, and that was my first exit in March. Actually, that was in February, and it ended up being perfect timing because Marathon Industries peaked when Bitcoin hit $53,000 and then went down as Bitcoin went up to $69,000. So that's how I've just kind of identified all right, I'm going to start my exits with my Bitcoin miners and then just see where the rest of this leads us.
Are you mining Bitcoin as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Just Riot Blockchain, Marathon Industries. I have 1,500 shares of Riot Blockchain, for example. I sold 100 shares today.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
curious to hear your thoughts.
I sort of agree, just in a different way. I feel like a lot of times we get to the same conclusion in a different way. Yeah, I think that 80K, I don't necessarily think that that's the peak, but I do think that that's the peak of the value for Bitcoin for this cycle. And that is where I'm going to be looking, about 85K, somewhere in there. That's where I'm going to be looking to rotate some of my Bitcoin into altcoins a lot more aggressively as well. Someone said ski echo. Yeah, there is. I thought I heard an echo. Maybe. I'll try to fix this in just a second. Primary speaker. But yeah, I think that. Sorry, there's something.
Somebody says better on it. People are saying it sounds good now.
There we go. How's that? We still got an echo?
People in the comments are saying it sounds good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think that the value is 80K as far as for Bitcoin, and that's when we're going to start to be aggressive into the altcoin season. And I'm going to be looking to rotate some more. I did rotate some. That was my plan back in 2022. Like, I sort of mapped it out, not perfectly, but pretty good accuracy back here in like 25K range. I said that we were going to go to 48K and back test to 35K. We ended up going back to 38K, but I did at this peak here. I did rotate about 30% of my Bitcoin. That's when I started making some more aggressive plays, and I plan to do the same starting at about 85K, rotating, and I hope to be all but 20% out by 207,000 if we get that high.
With 20% out of your Bitcoin?
80% out, 20% hold
okay.
forever.
Okay. I was like, man, only 20%. Okay.
Let's see if I can.
All right, people are saying echo again.
Let's see if I can fix this. I think it's on my end. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm gonna work on this.
All right.
So what? Give me your value plays at each market cap.
Oh man. The thing is, I don't really know. I've lost touch with like what cryptos are at for market cap right now. So I mean, I guess I could go to coinmarketcap.com and look, but you know, I was on. I had Jamil on earlier, the last guy who came on the live stream last week, and our people are saying no echo, by the way.
Yeah.
And
it's me.
I asked him that same question, and he said Fetch and Injective were looking pretty good right now. So if you can hear the echo is the other person. I'm going to try something.
Okay.
I'm going to try, I have headphones in right now and see what happens.
There we go.
So hopefully, I don't know, but we'll see. So he said Fetch and Injective. Oh man.
Well,
right, so
echo? I don't hear an echo on my end anymore.
Yeah, one person says more echo, and then two people say no echo.
No echo. Okay, I don't hear an echo. I was hearing it, but I don't hear it anymore.
All right, guys. We're not addressing the echoes anymore. Okay, so we're just gonna move on. Live with the echo.
Let's see.
I mean, and while you're looking at that, given the movement with Ethereum right now, I'm really encouraged by Ethereum, and this is what should be happening. Is Ethereum should be moving the way it's been moving the last few days. I've observed, and this isn't from a technical perspective, that Pepe, when the rumors of the spot Bitcoin, the spot Ethereum ETF were swirling, and then it happened in May, Pepe exploded. Pendle did very well. So those are a couple cryptos that, I mean, I like the charts for both. Those are two that are on my radar.
Yeah, I think Ethereum looks beautiful, actually. And I'm one who's kind of anti-Ethereum on like some personal stuff, but I don't really care about the, when we're just talking purely technicals, Fundamentals, I think that Ethereum looks great. I have kind of like a joke about Ethereum that me and Vitalik, we're not like this, because I have a huge Bitcoin mining operation, which was Ethereum.
Oh.
So I didn't feel the bear market at all until the merger, because I was still
Yeah.
like paying my mortgage mining Ethereum in the bear market. Like it,
Wow. Wow. Oh,
even,
that sucks.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah, I was.
You're,
Say again.
sorry, I want to answer a question. Your target's 138K for Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, that's my medium case scenario. My bull case scenario is $207,000.
Okay. All right.
And people do have kind of like a misconception, or um, like I'll say 8.8 trillion is my bull target for the total market cap, but you know this, but a lot of people don't. Crypto is the most liquid asset that exists. There is no asset that is more liquid, so it doesn't need to be a firm like this coin will have this market cap, this coin will have this market cap. I very much think that there's going to be a round of that market cap. But yeah, looking at Ethereum, I think it has the exact setup as well, like a macro accumulation sign of strength. This is a big sign of strength too, which is like a
Mhm.
full-on retracement to the 702, and then a back test of the prior range. And I think that this is reaccumulation within reaccumulation. Your selling climax, your automatic rally, your secondary test. This perhaps is working on the micro sign of strength, which would be the macro mark up move. And I agree with you that Ethereum is a player that needs to enter into the game to really start the alt season. Like that to me is what's going to
Oh, yeah.
really kick things off. But I have about a $7,000 target for Ethereum, and if things want to go crazy, it could get to 15,000. I do think that this is the last like parabolic run for Ethereum, because I just think that there's just so much better
Yeah.
technology. But
Yeah. I've been looking. I think I really do think. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've been thinking about that just the last couple weeks, actually. This is it. This is it. Now, Ethereum isn't going to die.
right,
There's just too much locked into Ethereum. But DeFiLlama.com, something that really stuck out to me. I'm going to flip my screen real quick if I can. Oh shoot, that's not what I want. Oh yeah, here we go. This was Ethereum as far as layer ones with TVL in 2021. So right here, where my mouse is January 18th, 2021. Ethereum was 96.32% of all money locked into DeFi, and now it's in the 50 percentage area. And you see Tron, Solana, Tron, Binance Smart Chain. Like I just think these pieces of the pie are going to keep on growing, and Ethereum is just going to keep on losing ground. And then you know revenues earned, Ethereum blows it out of the water, but it's just because of their ridiculous gas fees. But you look at the number of transactions on these blockchains. I mean, Solana is whooping Ethereum right now.
yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's
He's
only
some,
going to get crazier.
Someone was asking me too. They were like, "Do you think that 5% APY staking is a good deal?" I'm like, "You're asking me, someone who was mining Ethereum last bear market, last bull market." I was like, "Bro, I was making like $10,000 a month mining Ethereum, and that's like off of a $50,000 investment." I was like, no, earning 5% is not I would
Yeah,
rather just you could get a savings account that can get you pretty close to 5%, let alone being in the world's riskiest assets. So yeah, I agree. I just think that there's just better technology that is faster, it's better, it's cheaper. I make the joke all the time that Ethereum to me is 90s basketball. It's very nostalgic in our head, but the athletes today are just better.
I'm with you on the analogy. I have a soft spot for 80s and 90s basketball, man, and I get. All right, I'm not going to take too long into this. Anyone saying that Kevin Durant is better than Larry Bird, I will punch you in the face. Larry, if you took Larry Bird from the 80s and put him in the NBA today, he would be far and away better than than prime Kevin Durant. Okay, I'm done. So
Draymond Green, just for the record, has more 3-pointers than Larry Bird.
yeah, because they didn't shoot threes back in the 80s. Transfer Larry Bird to today, and there's zero adjustment to today's game.
Larry would dominate today. That's what I've said. The top 10% would still dominate. It's the bottom 10%
Sure.
that I think that
I'm with you on that. Like John Koncak, it doesn't even matter if anyone knows who that is. Like that guy's not playing in the NBA today. No. So
best altcoin to buy today. That's what someone said.
What you got?
Like I have tiers. You know what I mean? Like it's based on market cap. It's based on risk tolerance. It's based on the amount of, like that's not a black and white question to me, because it's based off of like how long are you going to be in this space. If we're just talking the most amount of ROI with the least amount of risk, I would say that that's going to be a larger market cap. I would probably say VeChain is probably one of my better values at large cap. Okay. LCX for medium cap.
Really?
Yeah. The fact that people are so out on LCX makes me like super bullish. I think that this is the spring right here within reaccumulation. So you'll see Wyckoff on different time frames. And that to me is a signal that you're progressing into the next phase. Mm-hmm. And this idea that, so this is to me is macro accumulation for LCX, your sign of strength, your back test of the prior range. And then when you zoom in, like I have it drawn out what I'm projecting, right? This is micro accumulation, your selling climax, your automatic rally. I think that this is your spring, which goes lower than the selling climax. And then also, when you just zoom out a little bit more, what is the likelihood that LCX is going to just shoot right through, what is this, like 800 days worth of support? 718 days worth of support. I don't think that that's very likely. So I just think that the risk to reward for LCX, and I love it that all the creators seem to be like, out on LCX. The chart looks fine to me. The inflation is fine to me. Okay. So yeah. And then obviously Solnick and He at the micro caps.
Of course. Yeah, we always have to sprinkle that in. But I mean, in all seriousness, like my meme coin portfolio is hemorrhaging right now. With these random meme coins that I don't, I bought in because I don't know, random reasons look good, the chart looked fine, whatever, but not LCX or He or not LC, Solnick or He. Those ones is fine.
I would throw Flux at medium cap. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say too, like people get a sense of like drunk on euphoria with being involved in Solnick and He, and then you have it's like that old Jordan commercial, like sorry if I made it look too easy, but
okay,
it's like you get this illusion that every meme coin is going to look like that, and they're not made the same. And I think that you and I share a different sort of approach where most of them are just trying to do a quick maybe 3 month play, where we're more looking at this for like a 3 decade play of like this is a legacy play. The better that Solnick and He does, the better that our channel does, the better that our channel does, the better that Solnick and He does, and it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yep.
Can someone comment the altcoin said? I said LCX and Flux for medium caps. Flux is like people ask me about AI. I think that it's super buzzwordy, and I don't think that it's like actually here. But there are a couple that I would say that have potential, right? Not that it's actually doing true proper artificial intelligence. Like I'm not talking about data collection and then spitting out something very quickly. I'm talking about actual computational power that is required. I think that Flux and DNX have the potential to accomplish that because they utilize cloud mining. So they're mining all of the all of the like Ethereum miners, all the GPU miners across the world are mining Flux, DNX, and different mineable coins like that. And instead of doing one complex problem like Bitcoin, a proof of work, it allows you to solve, or instead of doing proof of work, which is just, ram it down your throat, it allows you to solve one super complex problem using the entire world's computational power. And so I think there's potential there.
All right. So you would prefer those over like a render?
Yes.
Okay.
Because here's my question. Like it was all the rage, back in 2023, it was all about AI. And my question is like, where is their power coming from? Like where is because the amount of resources that it takes to have like an actual supercomputer, where is that coming from? Are they providing it? And I like the model of these other ones where I'm not even saying that it's going to do it. I'm just saying like I see the roadmap on how it's possible by rewarding other miners to do this thing.
Yeah. That I like that thesis, because I mean I've been pretty excited about Render, like at least so earlier this year I was really excited about Render. Render did very well. I've been looking, people ask me about Render every day, and I look at the chart and I'm like, I don't love it.
Right.
But I'll definitely put Flux on my radar. I mean, I look at the chart for Flux occasionally.
It looks exactly like this. By the way, like this Render had the same setup what I keep talking about. So your like accumulation, your sign of strength, your back test, and then it went on its bull run. So to me, most of the market is right here, somewhere in this neighborhood, and then this is what you expect after that. So to me, it's in reaccumulation now, but it already did a 30x, 38x from the bottom. Expecting it to do a whole lot more, I think is 32x. But yeah, I like Render. I made some money on Render. I had Render, but I don't know. I've been in this game long enough to know that the biggest whales that are not really talked about that are running the show are the miners. And I'm biased, of course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like DNX, Ergo, Flux are my favorite mineable coins that are all kind of doing the same thing. Flux has the same chart too, right here. It has the same exact setup right here. If I were to pull it up for you, let's pull it up.
Do you know if Node AI is a miner?
I don't.
Okay.
That's just my thesis. That doesn't mean that it's true, but I'm just trying to think about it like practically, like where are they getting the actual computational power? And it's just like, well, at least the miners actually have the power to do potentially what they're saying they're doing. But here's Flux chart compared to this isn't the cleanest looking chart. Let me clean some of this up. But here's Flux chart compared to Render before it broke out. And to me, structurally, that's the same. We're looking at the same chart, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then this is the markup is what we call the bull run. I think that most of the coins look like Flux's chart, but Flux is a candidate to perform very well.
Yeah.
What do you think of Grass? Is it going crazy?
I'm not paying attention to Grass, but hope everyone does amazing with it.
What are your thoughts on Blast?
Blast, yeah. I mean, I made a video about it earlier this week. So one thing that's appealing to I like cryptos or projects that have a lot of money locked into their ecosystem, that have more money locked in their ecosystem than their market cap. I'm just a sucker for that. So that's why Pendle is one of my top cryptos, and it's been for a while. And in Aave, Aave was one of the top performers when everything else was down, and Aave has billions of dollars locked in. And so that was the appeal to me with Blast when I made that video, was 100. It's now up to 180 million. I think at the time of the video it was 156 million market cap. But then they had $1 billion locked in to their ecosystem. I did a little bit more research on it. I mean, they're number 15 in TVL, and it like I went to DeFi Llama recently, and I was like, Blast, just like I like finding those ones that I'm like, wait, where'd this come from? Never heard of it. And then I do a little bit of research into it. They have some interesting things. If you bridge to Blast, you don't have to stake or anything, but you can get yield on Ethereum or on USDC or something, which I know that just triggered you talking about yield on Ethereum instead of finding it. But
I'm all about making passive income one way or the other. But yeah, I like liquidity pools. I think if I had it to do all over again, I would probably just liquidity mine, to be honest, because you don't have to pay for the infrastructure. You just set up a pool and add to the pool.
Yeah. Chart looks interesting to me that I'm looking at. I don't know much about it. I'm just looking at the chart.
For Blast?
And it's pretty new. No. Athena. Sorry, I was changing subjects, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reached out to me to review their coin, and I don't know that much about them, so I need to dive into that pretty deeply. So yeah, what are best passive plays? Liquidity pools, I think, is probably one of the better passive plays. You can do staking and stuff like that. I use Coinbase's card for like gas and groceries, and that gets like 1 or 2% cash back. That's a pretty easy way to get passive income just on stuff that you're already gonna spend anyways.
Yeah. I just I got burned pretty hard by with BlockFi last time around. So I had a BlockFi credit card, and I used it and then got my rewards, but then they went bankrupt and I lost all those rewards. So I like the idea. I prefer the idea of like Coinbase over any of these upstarts, so.
Yeah, and Coinbase to me is, I don't love them, but I do think that they're too big to fail as far as like who's in their coup, so to speak. They're sort of black. They're they're backed by BlackRock. Jesus. So yeah, I think Uphold has a good card as well. Uphold was here with their feet to the fire. In the midst of 2022 bear market, in the midst of all of these banks going to zero, like Silicon Valley Bank going to zero. They were the only, like, they're annoying and they're weird, I think, but also they've had their feet to the fire, and they have been. They were the only exchange that didn't stop listing XRP. I've never had any issues withdrawing other than their cool off period. But as far as like withdrawing to my bank account or to them and having the liquidity immediately, I've never had any issues with them. And this was in the heat of the bear market. And yeah, I've talked about this too. It's like the measure of a man, the measure of an exchange, the measure of a project, a community is not what are you doing when it's awesome, but what are you doing when you get hit in the mouth?
Oh man. Sorry, that didn't work out for me with one crypto that I got really excited about, but that's generally true. I'm just laughing because 2022, the World Economic Forum, in 2021, everyone was there. In 2022, it was a handful of projects, and I was like, all right, I'm interested in the projects that are there in 2022, or or was it 2023? I don't know, but whatever. And Casper was one, and Casper is just so I had a huge win with my top 5 bear market buys with Solana, and then a huge loss with Casper, and every time I mention Casper, people ask me about Caspa. Alex,
My God,
I'm talking about Casper, the friendly ghost.
yes.
Maybe the worst. I mean, Casper was in the top 100 at one point.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst top 100 crypto of this entire run. Casper.
For me, it was the opposite, actually. You could flip Solana and Casper for me because I was late to the Solana. I was more of an H-bar guy back in the bear market, which I still like them, but they have too much inflation right now. So I was more H-bar, and my biggest public loss of all time was because of Solana.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did a challenge back in maybe this is 2023, late 2023, early 2024, and I traded. The goal was to trade $10 to $1,000 with no money added, and I actually did that. I traded from $10 all the way to $1,000 with no money added, only trading. But then I moved the goalposts. This is what screwed me up. I moved the goalposts. I'm like, well, let's just do $10,000 and let's keep the train rolling. And then along the way, I started letting people copy me because there was a feature on BingX where you could do copy trading. And I was like, yeah, I don't recommend you do this, but you can copy me if you want. And so people started copying me, and I got red hot. And I went from $1,000 to $9,000, no money added, only trading from $10. And what screwed me up was I could see who was in the profit and who was in the red. And that like really messed with my head. And I shorted Solana, and I was correct about Solana. I was correct about the trade, but there was about 5 people that were in the red and everyone else was in the green. And because my ego got in the way and I wanted everyone to be in the green, I screwed up the trade and everyone lost money because of it. And that was my biggest public loss of all time, was shorting Solana. But yeah, when they asked me about Caspa, like the first time I was ever asked about Caspa, this is how it went. I was like, they're like, what are your thoughts on Casper? I was like, okay, I pulled it up like this. And I was like, the very first time I pulled up the chart, I'm like, what the hell is this chart? I'm like, this is the worst chart I've ever seen. I have no interest in it. And that was the end of my Casper career.
Casper, right?
Casper, yeah. The friendly red ghost.
Friendly red ghost. Tokenomics, man, they matter. Casper, super highly inflationary. And I got sucked in by their grind in the bear market and, other things.
And now they're on H-bar, which is another inflationary coin. Which I'll be
Yeah.
adding H bar in the bear market because I think
Me
that
too.
most of their inflation is done, and I still
Yeah.
believe in their technology, their blockchain. But yeah, I don't think they're going to perform as well as they could have because of that inflation.
Where do you think Bitcoin's dominance is going to go?
Um, 62, I
Or
think.
have it?
62, I think, is the peak, but it doesn't need to go there.
Yeah.
Is this the dominance right here? Yeah, it's a pretty big correction right now. But we can't really call it like a proper correction until we would take out 58.2. Once you make like a lower low,
Yeah.
that would signal a reversal. But the 2618 puts us at 62%, and I think that just if we're talking about policy, that's the 2618. The policy for Bitcoin for Orange Man is to buy 1 million Bitcoin. So that would signal to me that Bitcoin is going to continue a little bit longer. But I think we're nearing the end of it, and we're very much gearing up for the alt season. I think we're kind of in the final stages of it.
Yeah. You think he's actually going to do that? I'm a little skeptical.
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. We were there at the Bitcoin conference when.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. He's got my opinions. Hearing him speak about Bitcoin, I did think it was a political move,
Sure.
and I didn't think that he was really about it like that. But he does have Kennedy in his like coup or whatever, and I do think that Kennedy. When I heard Kennedy speak about it, I think Kennedy is really about it, and his plan was 4 million. So yeah, I think he's going to do it.
I don't even if they're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin, then like there's no number that you could tell me that I would say is too low or sorry, too high for Bitcoin to reach. No number under $1 million. I mean, that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but like, I mean, I hope that's what happens. I would say that your $207,000 price target is too conservative.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the target. That's your upper end.
Yeah.
That would be too conservative. So, if it happens, fantastic. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. This to me was the most. I don't want TikTok to flag our stuff, so I'm saying like Orange Man, and I'm saying careful words because you know how Big Brother is watching. But we're gonna say we're gonna call it the quad annual thing that happens, the selection, if you will. This to me was the most. The crypto holders had the most impact ever on this time around, because people have real money and they have real money at stake as to who is going to win, and the more important is not even who is in charge of it all, but really the Senate and the House. And there's a lot more crypto friendly senators. There's a lot more crypto friendly House members on both sides, I would say. The right has control of all three, so I think whatever they want to get done in the next 2 years, they're going to get it done.
I hope so.
And he better keep to his word. He better keep to his word to free Ross day one.
Ooh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, all right. I'm going to be a little selfish here. If I had to choose one thing, fire Gary Gensler or free Ross, I'm going with fire Gary Gensler. Sorry, Ross.
We're going to fire Gary Gensler day one, lock him up, throw away the key. It says Vance owns some crypto as well. Yeah, that's right. I actually hope that Kennedy influences him to switch it to 4 million. That would be better.
I don't even know if it's possible to buy 4 million Bitcoin. I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but like,
I think, no, that's right. Like there is. So realistically, like here's the crazy part: 1 million Bitcoin sounds like a lot of Bitcoin, but it's way more than we can even comprehend because there's only 21 million total, but there's really only like 10 million available because how many people lost their Bitcoin forever? Me, like I donated multiple Bitcoin to the Ether. So people say like Bitcoin's going to zero. I'm like, I made sure it never would because there's a few Bitcoin that will never be sold ever. Yeah, and there's about 10 million of those Bitcoin. So I'd say there's maybe 10, maybe 12 million Bitcoin available to buy. So buying 1 million, that's, close to 10% of the total supply. And just like we saw BlackRock buying a bunch the day after it happened, that's going to happen. Like these corporations are going to front run it. If they're buying 500 a day until 1 million, well, BlackRock might buy 1,000 a day. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I think that's, and we think about this too, like with the gold ETF, gold went crazy about a year after all that. So I think that there is a chance that this could be, like I've sort of outlined it from the beginning that this is going to be like one of two things, and I put it in the medium, which I don't think will probably happen, but it's either going to be one of the most conservative or it's going to be one of the most bullish that we've ever experienced.
At some point, yeah. I mean, this is why, like, I'm hoping to sell as little Bitcoin as possible and just sell on my altcoins and be content with that.
Yeah.
At some point, it's just going to take us by surprise, and people are going to get left in the dust with thinking that Bitcoin's going to go right back down to bear market bottom, 80% drop or something like that. And there's signs right now. I mean, that thing that William said last week about, mentioning Microsoft, and I don't remember what he said, but about the laws being more favorable to corporations adding Microsoft or adding Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I still haven't looked into that, but
yeah, well, that's what I was saying too. Is like the Congress and the Senate are just jam packed in a way that has never been with crypto friendly lawmakers, and that's who really controls the show. Like people think who is the front man, the orange man has all the power. It's like, no, bro. Like the Senate and the Congress have all the power.
Yeah,
that's who makes the laws. And I think that I have a lot of hope that I'm very optimistic. I'm gonna let the market lead me. I'm gonna stick to my way of doing things. I'm gonna try to be as practical, analytical as humanly possible. But I am very optimistic about what the next 12 months looks like.
All right. I share your optimism in some ways. I'm optimistic that we'll be able to, no matter what happens, work our way through the next 12 months in a way that's beneficial.
Yeah. We need stablecoins to buy U.S. bonds. Oh, that's what he was saying, that the Tether is so much tied with the bond market. Yeah.
And that was also, I thought, pretty fantastic bit of information that he threw out there.
Yeah.
I think you said number 16 in buying treasuries, which is like, all right, well, they probably don't want Tether to collapse then.
Right. That's all I hear. I've heard that since 2017.
Yeah.
It's just like, if it was going to happen, it's going to happen. And people I don't know. It's like Tether's just so in your face about how the entire system works. It makes people uncomfortable. But it's like they have an infinite money glitch. Like, well, they're based around the dollar, which has an infinite money glitch. They can print more Tether because the dollar is printing more. Like, if that makes you uncomfortable, well, maybe you should learn about crypto.
So, I mean, there's a misconception, and I very much believe that that Tether's not doing this. But I think what a lot of people think Tether does is that they just print as much as much USDT as they want, and and then they buy Bitcoin with it or whatever, and then they're good to go. But that's not how Tether works. They print based off demand, but then they back that with real assets, and it's brilliant. This idea of, I mean, what's Tether's market cap right now? Let's just say I know it's higher than $50 billion, but you get $50 billion, you put that into treasuries, you're making, I know it's much higher than 50 billion, but the return, what's that?
122.
122? Oh man, I did not realize it was 9 figures. 122 billion dollars that they need to back. I have no problem generating 1%, which I know treasuries are much more than 1%, but even just 1% annual return on $100 billion or $122 billion. I'll take that.
Yeah.
If I was a 100 billionaire, I would take a 1% annual return.
Yeah, that's that's the biggest like thing that's been in this game forever. Of like, you just hear Tether FUD, and like that's a signal that, hey, it's time to buy. When you start hearing Tether or Ledger FUD, like that's a good signal that it's a good time to buy. Like the amount of Ledger FUD that I heard in 2022 was bonkers.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's like Ledger does not have. You don't store your crypto on Ledger. You store it on the blockchain. You're accessing it via Ledger. A paper wallet is just as will suffice just the same. Yeah. Say again.
I've heard you say this before, but Solnick price prediction.
Solnick price prediction. So the other bet that I have going on by the end of the bear market is $75 million market cap, or I will shave my beard.
Nice.
So that would put us at about 7.5 cents. And then my medium case, 1 billion, bull case, 589. But to
589.
$5.89. But to me, it's it's I don't know that we're necessarily going to get there this bull market. But what I do know, and my promise, is not that we're going to be a straight line up forever, and there's going to be no red days, and there's going to be no fear, and it's only going to be high fives. I don't promise you any of that. But what I do promise is that I will show up every day. When it's bloody, when it's fearful, I will especially show up. And we will continue to develop, continue to push, not only into this bull market, but into the next bull market, as long as there is blood pumping through my veins. I will continue to make content. I will continue to try to help as many people as I can, humanly, morally, ethically possible. And Solnick will be the tip of the spear for that. That's what I promise. So I don't know that we're going to get there this bull market, but I know we're going to get there eventually. Especially when the thing that we're measuring it in is infinite US dollars. Solnick is finite.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I feel confident holding He as well, because I know you share the same sentiment.
I was tempted to just say ditto to everything you just said, but I'm not going to repeat the same spiel, but for sure.
Yeah.
And listen, Solana looks awesome right now. It is right at resistance. It's at the 786. It got rejected at the 786, or kind of struggling to break through the 786, and it just got there. But Solana looks primed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it'll get to about $500.
I could see this. So I was looking at the fibs, and I was like, you know what? If this gets to price discovery, I could see that $500.
So when we are on market cap, it's actually very, very similar to Bitcoin, and it's technically making a new all-time high.
Yeah.
So to me, like, it's gonna move with Bitcoin.
Yeah. So then on the other side of that, Solana went down to $7 in the bear market. I'm not saying it's going to go down to $7 in the next bear market, but it's probably going to fall pretty hard. And no meme coin tied to Solana. I know that you're bridged based in Avalanche as well, but no meme coin tied to so let's just talk about Solana, is going to be immune to that when the time comes, but that's going to be the time that we're going to be building when a lot of these anonymous faces of these meme coins are just going to disappear and probably start something else next time around. It'll get everyone excited.
We're actually working with a company to really sort of try to deviate as much as possible from that. And I can't say March, but I'm going to say like that's our projection, but that's testosterone time, which in my opinion is always too early and always, overestimates. So we're just going to say by 2025, sometime in 2025, that's what we're going to say for now until it gets closer. But there's a company and we're working with them, and their whole thing is you're going to be able to buy Solnic directly, not through like a third party and download this app, send Solana here, do this, but we're going to be listed on their thing, and you're going to be able to buy Solnic directly. Of course, they're going to charge you a small fee. That's how they make money. Sure. But all you need is you could use Google Pay, Apple Pay, a credit card, a debit card, and all you need is a Google account.
Okay.
So that's what's being worked on right now, and to me that is the biggest bottleneck, not only for Solnic but just crypto in general.
Yeah.
Is the accessibility for brand new people to get onboarded, and like everyone has a Gmail. Everyone has a Gmail. So that is I'm really excited about that, to roll that out for Solnic as well. And I'd get you linked with them as well if you want, Alex, because I think it'd be big for you.
Is that the thing you sent me a message about?
Yeah, I did send you.
Yeah. I'll look into that. Man.
They're actually rolling it out in November, so this month, but it's only for base. But the Solana is going to be rolled out in March, according to them.
Okay.
So we don't have enough liquidity on base. You need about $50,000 of locked liquidity to be eligible. But we have way more than that. We have like 400,000 or something like that on Solana.
Yeah.
Says I'm on Coinbase and I can't figure out how to buy Solnic. You need if you get Coinbase Wallet or Phantom Wallet or Solflare Wallet, just buy some Solana on Coinbase and send it to the wallet, and you could swap it on the wallet directly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've told people too, like obviously I keep private things private, but I just said like, I've had conversations with you man to man, and it's just like, I know it's about legacy for both of us, and I know that you really care about Hehe, and so like I believe in that. You know what I mean?
For sure. And time is revealing. The passage of time is revealing. Like it's worth it. It's been worth it to stick with us.
Right. This is why I joke too. Is like, I'll just pull it up. I don't have it right now, but I'm like, show me a chart. Show me a weekly chart, sub $10 million market cap, that looks like this. I'll buy it right now. I don't care. Show me a weekly chart that looks like this. You know what I mean? Like that. You see, you don't find him.
Yeah.
He's on Solana. He is on Solana. My Ohio boys, I love you too. For real, no Diddy. Are you from Ohio too, Alex?
I'm from the Midwest. I'll leave it at that.
Nope. When I was in the Army, I used to go running on the beach before work, and this girl picked me up. It was and we'd have to go at like 5 in the morning, so it's like pitch black out. And she
Yeah.
picks me up, and she had never been to my house before. And she goes like to turn onto the highway, but she goes into oncoming traffic, like we're about to die highway.
No.
And I completely panicked, and I didn't know what to do. And just the Midwestern in me just came all the way out, and I was just like, "Ope, ope, ope." Sounds like a Wisconsin thing. Yeah, it's a Midwestern thing. That's what the
Buddy.
Midwest does.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on RXS? I don't have any thoughts on RXS.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. Price prediction for Hee Hee. I think Hee Hee's chart looks amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't do predictions, but I think over the course of a decade, I think it's going to do the same thing. Like, it's going to get into multi-billions, and we're going to be on the top 10. And I, this is what I say is, like, there's only 2 coins that I feel really comfortable stamping my name on, sub $10 million market cap. There's a few that I like a lot, but as far as, like, yeah, the battle-tested, forged by fire, it's Hee Hee and Solnick, and that's it. End of list.
Yeah.
But yeah, daily chart, like, Hee Hee looks same thing, by the way. Like the same thing that we've been talking about the whole live stream. This big old accumulation, sign of strength, back test of the prior range.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
I'm very confident right now.
Yeah.
I'm confident in both. Like, and it's, you know, when it was just like both cryptos were under $1 million, we could, you know, we could have the resolve that we had, but then it's like it's a little bit more difficult to be like, oh yeah, for sure, this is the one. These two are the ones you should buy. Now it's so much easier because it's like our cryptos have outperformed so many other cryptos, so many other meme coins in the same category. It's just, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So the part that I'm the most proud of is not even just the upside success, which we've had plenty of it, but it's just the, you know, the continual development, the continual, like, show up. And when you zoom out, like, I'm on the daily right now, just higher highs and higher lows for months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every bottom for us has doubled from the last bottom.
Yeah.
Mike says, what about Soba? No forged by fire. I like Soba. I
Yeah.
think it's solid.
I like Soba. I put Soba in the same category. It's just, I mean, the difference is I don't talk with Crypto Bastard all that much.
Yeah.
So I don't know his plans. I don't know the team's plans. I don't know if I think when he launched Soba, he had an intention of doing it for profit. I don't know if that's still the case. I think he learned after he launched it that it's very difficult to sell.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people will know that you sold, and you just want the project to succeed so much that even selling a little bit is just not easy.
Right. Yeah, and it's tied to our legacy.
Yeah.
And that's just the facts. It's like where I'm at with it, I can make all the money that I need to make about it, period, by talking about it, making content, liquidity pools, and my Patreon, and like my exclusive videos that I do TA. I do real TA on Solnick like twice now. I've called the bottom on the day. I've called the spring as it was happening twice live. Called it twice where it never went a second lower.
Wow.
And that looks good. I mean, if I'm just keeping it, like, if you're like, what's this guy's angle? Well, that's my angle. It's like, there you go. It looks cool for me. It looks cool for my channel.
Yeah.
Damn, I had a pretty big spike in views for a second. Make sure you guys are dropping the follow. Thoughts on Quant? I like Quant. You have to have the perspective about quant is in the bear market when everything else was completely utterly dead. Quant did a 4 or 5x. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it performed very well when everything else was not performing well
Talk
at
about
all.
2021.
This is 2022.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
June of 22 through October of 22, Quant did a 4.5x. And like this is like in between Luna and FTX. Like everything was
Yeah.
dead. So that is sort of the lens that you need to, analyze Quant through, is that it did perform very well in the bear market. But this is a massive accumulation in my opinion. What's the best way to
Yeah.
maximize profits on low caps? Don't be greedy. DCA in and DCA out.
Yeah. All right. I'm about out of time.
Will staking options be
Yeah.
available for Solnic? Yes, and that's something that we're working on as well. But liquidity, you could add liquidity and make money like that. So Alex says he's out of time. So, any last words?
It's almost impossible to make a case that anyone should be a bear right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking I'm not saying that in a way of, in 2021 at the peak, you looked at leverage, everyone was long, and then everyone got wrecked. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like just understanding crypto history, understanding what happens after Bitcoin crosses its all-time high at this point in the cycle, which I'm not a full believer of, but I pay attention to the signs, and the signs are all pointing to many, many cryptos doing very well over the next few months. And then we'll see about after that, So I guess those are my parting words.
Someone said last words is I'm here for the fake followers, so that is going to play into my last words. Listen, I will never message you first, all right? If your boy Ski slides into your DMs, it's not me. If a Alex or a World War Bitcoin slides into your DMs, it's not me. It's somebody from Pakistan or Kakistan, but it ain't us. We love you, but we're not going to message you. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.
See you guys.
Peace.